For most of us, we are now about 6 weeks in to the shelter-in-place orders in our nation. And I want to speak to those of you who are beginning to feel like you're wearing down. You're thankful that you have a job and you feel blessed that everybody in your house is healthy. And if you really, truly think about it, you feel so fortunate that you do have a house to shelter in place. And yet, secretly, you're starting to feel like you're being pulled in too many directions and you're drained. You're running on fumes, and if nothing changes, it's going to be really hard to keep up this pace. I want to talk to you. My name's Lisa Babiak. I own Living Fully Balanced, and I'm a life balance and leadership coach. And I help busy women reclaim time, increase their energy so that they can prevent burnout. And in these past 6 weeks, many of us have been desperately clinging to what worked before the pandemic. And that's totally normal. Our brains go into protective mode, and when things change, our brains want to keep us safe. So keeping things status quo is what our bodies and our brains naturally do to make us feel protected. So clinging to what we knew worked makes logical sense, and yet it's not going to be helpful anymore. So I wonder if you're one of those people who are continuing to try to do the things that you've always done before the pandemic. Like maybe you are continuing to plan and organize and shop for all of the family's meals. All 3 of those meals, all 7 days of the week, all 6 weeks, right? All of those things. Or maybe you're responding to emails as soon as they come in because you are a conscientious worker and you want to show your team that you're in it with them and you want to support them and you don't want to let them down. Or maybe you want to be emotionally available at any moment for your spouse because you know that they need to feel propped up and you're really good at seeing what they need. But the truth is, when we're in transition, it's not always helpful to do what we've always done. In Marshall Goldstein's book, he wrote the book, What Got You Here Won't Get You There. He put his arms around 13 things that strong leaders do that are holding them back from further success. And I want you to know that if you are a parent, if you are a partner, if you work, you are a leader. When people look to you and watch what you're doing, you're a leader. So in his book, Marshall Goldstein identifies that clinging to the past is a key behavior that keeps us from moving forward. It keeps us stuck in place, clinging to the past. So the brain wants to protect us and it wants to cling to the past. But that is not helpful when we're in transition. So I wonder if you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed, if you're feeling physically and emotionally drained, you may be clinging to the past. I'm going to share with you what we can do instead. So there are 3 things that you can do today, tonight, so that you can confidently move through this transition that we're in as a culture. So the first thing to do is to redefine productive. If you are somebody who likes to check off lists and it feels really good to you to go to bed at night thinking about all that you accomplished, I encourage you to redefine how productive looks. What does productivity look like now? First step, redefine productive. Second step, reject what once worked so that you can embrace what works better. So you most likely had a rhythm and a structure, and it worked fine before the pandemic. But right now, it doesn't feel like enough, does it? That same structure, that same pace isn't enough right now. And if you're being truthful, you don't know how you can give anymore. So what I want you to do is reject what once worked so that you can find what will work even better right now. And then the third thing that you can begin to do today is to accept new strategies. Be open to a more flexible structure. Implement new tools and new strategies that will help you embrace this ebb and the flow of our current situation. So I'm going to guess that you are like many of the high-achieving women that I work with. And you may feel like you should be able to do this all on your own. That you're not the only one who's struggling. Why would you ask for help? Asking for help is a sign of weakness. And I want you to know that there is nothing further from the truth. We, our brains, are wired to connect and to learn from one another. You're not meant to do this alone. I was inspired during the pandemic to create a webinar, a masterclass around reclaim control in times of uncertainty. I want you to have that. In this webinar, it's 25 minutes, it's free. I will include the link below so that you can download it and have it in your inbox today. In the 25 minutes, you will learn how to manage challenging emotions. We'll talk about designing a productive yet a healthy cadence to your new work from home days, and we'll talk about how to prevent burnout during challenging times. I'll link the masterclass to the bottom of, actually I'll link it in the comments below so that you can have that. I don't want you to push through and burn out. This is a pressured situation, and quite frankly, we went into this shelter in place at a sprint, didn't we? We did everything we could as fast as we could to get ourselves here. And it's proving to be a marathon. So what worked before is not going to continue to work in the long run. I'd like to help you with that. I'll attach the link to the masterclass. I want you to know that you've got permission to release the pressure valve. You don't have to do it alone. And quite frankly, you shouldn't have to. My name's Lisa Babiak with Living Fully Balanced. I want you to take good care of yourself and to recognize that we can be so much more when we do things together. Until next time, take good care. Bye-bye.